The movie begins with a young man named Mata. We learn that Mata is the son of a very rich businessman. He's lived his whole life in luxury, never worked or even taken responsibility. At this time, he's inside a bar in the city, enjoying himself and wasting his dad's money. He goes and meets a beautiful girl at the bar. He invites her for a drink. After spending a nice time with her, he bids her farewell to go home because he's drunk and can't stand on his feet. On his way home, a police officer stops him at a checkpoint and asks for his license. Mata pulls out money from his pocket to bribe the officer, but the officer refuses to take it. They realize not all officers might accept a bribe. Mata pulls out more money and gives it to him, but he still refuses to take it. So he feels insulted and asks Mata to get out of the car. But Mata starts the car and drives off, almost running over the officer. The officer grabs onto the car hood and Mata drives fast. But the officer orders him to stop the car, but Mata doesn't listen and keeps going. A little later, we see Teoman, Mata's father, going with his lawyer to the police station to get Mata out. He assures the lawyer that he's fed up with spoiling his son and wants him to take responsibility because he'll be responsible for the entire fortune after Teoman dies. Then they both enter the station and see Mata sleeping inside the cell. He tells his dad he didn't do anything and didn't mean what happened. He suggests agreeing with a poor person to go to jail instead of him for money. Teoman gets angry and wants to leave him in the station for a bit to teach him a lesson, but he feels sorry for him in the end and gets him out. Outside the police station, Teoman argues with Mata. He says he's reckless and spoiled and won't be able to do anything in his life if he dies, proving that he's the one solving all his problems, even though he's 27 years old. Mata replies to Teoman that he's right about everything he says. He adds that he solves the problems he falls into with money and bribes. He assures him he does all this to forget his mother. Teoman asks if he can bring his mother back through money and bribes. Teoman falls silent, not knowing how to reply, feeling for him, and knowing he's affected by his mother's death. Afterward, Teoman goes to meet his girlfriend Ayla, who works in cinema. As soon as he sees her, he tells her everything and lets her know he's fed up and can't stand it anymore. Every time he talks to Mata to punish him for what he does, Mata reminds him that his wife died and he won't see her again. Ayla calms him down and tells him she has a magic solution for all his problems. We learn that Sammy is a neuropsychiatrist who relies on a shock therapy system to treat his patients. After that, Teoman and Ayla go to Dr. Sammy's clinic, which is in a place prone to collapse. Teoman is disgusted to enter the place. As soon as they open the clinic door, they see Sammy hanging himself. Teoman gets stressed and asks Ayla to leave before the police come and arrest them. Ayla calms him down and lets him know Sammy is still alive, and indeed he is. We learn he was conducting a new experiment to treat a patient whose husband is very jealous. He developed a psychological condition called Othello syndrome, which makes him cheat on his wife to forget his feeling of jealousy. So Sammy decided to make his wife pretend to commit suicide. When her husband sees her, he'll feel guilty and stop cheating on her. Sammy asks Teoman why he came to him. He tells him about Mata and the problems he causes. He's afraid for him because he's gotten older and hasn't taken responsibility yet. He's afraid he'll waste all his fortune on bars and late nights. Sammy suggests he yell at Mata and tell him to stop what he's doing. Teoman mocks him because Mata isn't a child to be yelled at. They realize they need to find a solution quickly before he loses his only son forever. Sammy has only one option left: shock therapy. Then we go to Mata, who is on a boat trip at sea with his friends. He seems still upset with Teoman after what he said yesterday. He calls his other friends to meet them too. At that moment, a girl appears on the boat and shoots Mata with a dart containing a sedative. Mata loses consciousness and falls into the water. When he wakes up, he finds himself wearing very strange clothes and lying on hay in a horse stable. A person wakes him up and tells him to hurry and prepare the horse for the Aga, who is the village judge. Because if he comes down and finds his horse isn't ready, he will whip Mata in the middle of the village. Mata is surprised by his words and keeps making fun of him. He looks for his mobile phone to call Teoman to save him, but he can't find the phone. He tells the young man that he drank a lot yesterday, and the last thing he remembers is being on the boat and doesn't know how he got here. But the young man tells him he's been working with him in the stable for a long time. He tells Mata that when Mata was young, he fell on his head and had a brain problem. Since then, all his actions have been strange, and he pretends to be crazy every now and then. But Mata gets angry with him and calls him a liar. After that, the judge's assistant, named Kalis, enters the stable. He pulls Mata out of the stable. When the judge arrives, Mata recognizes him as Teoman's company accountant. But the judge gets angry and tells him his name is Badar. He asks him to respect him and prepare his horse because he loves it and knows about his old problem when he fell on his head as a child. Mata gets angry with him and threatens to make Teoman fire him. The judge orders his assistant Kalis to whip Mata. Mata discovers that they are actually whipping him and starts to realize they are not joking. He's in a real old village. so he decides to escape from the village. He runs through the village streets, and people keep calling out to him, because if he leaves the village gate, he'll discover the truth. He doesn't respond to anyone and keeps running until he reaches the river. He gets into a small boat and starts moving it. At that moment, he sees a giant ship approaching him. The ship starts firing bombs at the boat he's on. Mata gets scared and returns to the village. He returns to the house of Albir, his stable assistant, and his mother, named Susan. They keep telling him about the accident he had when he was young. Albir tells him that the ship that fired bombs at him is a pirate ship. These are a group of pirates who attack the village every now and then to steal food and jewelry and take the village women for themselves. Mata gets angry and doesn't believe anything he says. He searches him to get his phone out, but he's shocked that he doesn't have a phone at all. He asks him about the police station or who the president is now. He learns that the president of Turkey is Sultan Süleyman. Mata makes fun of him, saying Sultan Süleyman died about 500 years ago. He's shocked when he realizes that Albir means they are living in the past. He asks about the year they are living in. He learns they are living in the year 1530. Mata is shocked, and shock begins to take over him because he doesn't remember anything. He imagines he's dead and is now in a parallel world. Suddenly, he hears Kales asking about the horse. Mata goes to him and sees he's very angry. He's surprised by his anger and tells him he has many horses and can take any horse he wants. Kales yells at him and tells him he's crossed all boundaries and must be punished and executed in the middle of the village to be a lesson for anyone who thinks of crossing his boundaries. Indeed, Kales ties his hands with iron shackles. They take him to the execution platform in the village. There, Mata sees one of the villagers being hanged. He gets nervous and begs them to leave him alone because he doesn't want to die, but no one listens to him. They take him to the platform and put his head on a wooden block for execution. Mata sees another villager having his neck cut in front of him. He gets nervous and can't control himself. When it's his turn, a very beautiful girl appears in front of him. She is Princess Dilbar, the judge's daughter. Dilbar asks Kales to pardon Mata because he's innocent and it's a shame for him to die just because he forgot to prepare the horse. But Kales tells her these are the judge's instructions, and he can't act on his own. Her brother Salim comes and orders Kales to cut Mata's neck. Dilbar stops him until the judge arrives. When the judge arrives, Dilbar asks him to release Mata. The judge agrees because it's Dilbar's birthday, and he doesn't want to upset her on her birthday. But he threatens Mata that if he does it again, his punishment will be death. Dilbar goes to talk to Mata, and it seems she's attracted to him. She tells him she couldn't let someone as handsome as him die so easily, but if he does anything again, she won't be able to defend him. Mata falls to the ground from exhaustion. He sees a strange-looking eagle flying in the sky. We learn that this is not a real eagle, but a set of drone cameras Dr. Sami uses to film everything happening in the village. We discover that all of this is not real at all, but a plan by Sami to treat Mata with shock therapy. Teoman, Mata's father, is present with the rest of the film crew outside the village gate. They see everything happening on the surveillance cameras. Teoman appears annoyed and thinks they are wasting time because Mata is a cold person with no feelings, and they can't possibly change him with this nonsense they're doing. He assures Sami that he paid a lot of money to build this village for him as he requested, and his plan must succeed no matter what, because if Mata knows the truth, Teoman will lose his son and the money. Sami reassures him that the plan is going as he wants. Then we see the person in charge of the horses on the film set, whose name is Asena. We learn that Salim is attracted to her. He stops her to talk to her, but she refuses and tells him she has work. She tells him she doesn't want to be in a relationship, and these things don't matter to her. Mata is in the stable, putting things together to figure out how he got there. He thinks out loud and says he saw a movie before where the hero went back in time, but he can't remember the movie's name. Albert tells him the name of the movie. Mata is shocked and asks him how he knows the name and if he lives in the past. Albir gets nervous and doesn't know how to reply. Dr. Sami talks to Albir through the earpiece. He asks him to act quickly or Mata will know the truth and expose them. Albir lies to Mata and says he watched the movie in black and white in the modern era. Mata believes him and the matter passes normally, even though cinema wasn't invented then. Albir is happy that the matter passed and asks Mata to move quickly to finish their work. Days pass and Mata starts to get used to this village. He lives his life as one of them. He tolerates Kalis's daily annoyance, but he has one problem: food. He wants to eat meat or chicken, but he only eats soup because Albir is poor and doesn't have money to buy protein. Mata gets angry and decides to take action because he's hungry. We go to Salim, who tries to get close to Dilbar. He tells her he's attracted to her. It seems she's also attracted to him. They get close and decide to go on a date after she finishes her acting role. Dilbar seems annoyed with Asena and doesn't like her for no reason. A little later, Mata is arranging hay and sees Dilbar sitting and crying. He asks her why she's crying. She tells him the judge wants to marry her to an old man just because he's rich and has money. She doesn't want to marry him because she's attracted to another young man her age. At that moment, Dr. Simi is watching them on the cameras. He feels proud that his plan is succeeding, and Mata has started to care about the feelings of those around him. But he's shocked when he hears Mata's reply to Dilbar. He tells her this isn't a problem, and she can marry the old man normally. After a few years, the old man will die, Dilbar will inherit him, and then she can marry the young man she loves. This scene also fails. Mata goes back to his work. In the monitoring room, Sami asks Teoman to trust him, because he's the only one who can change Mata's personality, but it will take some time to adjust his personality and style. He tells him he's made a foolproof plan and calculated every detail for the plan to succeed. Mata goes and asks Albir to find a solution to cook the chicken he stole. Albir gets angry because these chickens belong to the judge. If he finds out that one of them stole it, he will kill them or whip them in front of the other villagers. Mata doesn't care and cooks the chicken and eats it all by himself. Albir goes to argue with him because he's a selfish person and left him to finish all the work while he was sitting there eating chicken and didn't even think to leave him anything. Mata replies that they've divided everything fairly. Albir took Mata's share of the work and Mata took Albir's share of the food. A little later, Kalas gathers the villagers. He brings 4 workers from the stable, including Mata and Albir. He asks them about the stolen chicken. He tells them that whoever confesses will be whipped 20 times, but if he discovers the thief, he'll whip them 50 times. No one answers, and Mata pretends he didn't hear anything, until Kalis decides to whip Albir 20 times, hoping Mata will confess and tell the truth. But Mata doesn't care, and watches Albir being whipped in his place normally. In the monitoring room, Teoman gets angry because he sees his son treating people badly. He can't believe he abandoned his friend so easily, knowing that Albir is innocent. After that, Albir goes to argue with Mata because he's the reason for what happened to him. Mata justifies his position and tells him it's not his fault and Kalis chose to whip him. Mata treats him badly and asks him not to suffer so he can sleep. Indeed, Mata sleeps and leaves Albir to suffer alone. Teoman goes to sit with Ayla and wants to marry her because he loves her, but he doesn't know if she loves him or not. Teoman asks her if she was in a relationship with Dr. Sami. She tells him she knew Sami through work and hasn't spoken to him since the last time she met him, except to help Mata. She hints that she's attracted to him. She notices he doesn't understand her intention, so she leaves and walks away. Sami comes to talk to Teoman and tells him that Ayla loves him, which made her angry and leave. He assures him there's nothing between him and Ayla, and it's all just work. Teoman thanks him and remains seated, thinking about what he'll do with Ayla. The next day, Mata takes a horse from the stable and decides to escape from the village on horseback. Sami's assistant goes to tell him to catch Mata before he escapes. Sami calls the sniper, who is the same girl who injected him with the sedative on the boat. He asks her to be ready to inject Mata with the sedative if he tries to leave the village gate. On his way, Mata sees Asina. We learn then that Asina is not an actress, and her job is only to take care of the horses. Mata sees pieces of her clothes, so he runs towards her and argues with her. He tells her to tell him the truth because the clothes she's wearing are not from the current era. He argues with Asina, and she shows him her clothes. He discovers she's wearing the same clothes as the other villagers. He apologizes to her and lets her go. Teoman sees what's happening on the surveillance cameras. He gets angry and decides to cancel the project after he's sure his son will never change, and this is his personality for the rest of his life. When he returns to watch the surveillance cameras, he sees Mata looking for Asena to apologize to her again for arguing with her. He's happy that his son has started to change and decides to go back on his word and continue the project. We go to Mata, who circles the entire village to reach Asena's house, but he doesn't find her anywhere. At night, he goes with Albir to the Hydros Festival. This is an annual festival held in the village. Albir tells him he loves this festival very much and used to attend it every year. Mata makes fun of him and the clothes they are wearing. He tells him that in his life in the future, he attended many nice parties, and every day there was a different party, and he lived his life. Although he misses his old life, he's happy with his new life and has started to get used to it. On the way, Mata sees Asena in front of him. He goes to apologize to her and tells her he didn't want to argue with her. He wants to tell her the truth and that he's from the future, but he's sure she'll never believe him. Asena accepts his apology and tells him she's not upset with him. He offers to go to the festival with her, but she refuses because she doesn't like parties and wants to stay home alone. Mata leaves her and walks away. Sami calls her and asks her to go to the festival because she's the only one who has influenced Mata and made his personality change so far. At the festival, Mata feels bored. He asks the band to play a song he likes. He trains them on it, and they actually manage to play it. Everyone at the festival gets up and dances. At that time, Dilbar comes to talk to him. She tells him she hates her life and doesn't want to live without the love of her life. She means him. She tells him she decided to commit suicide and was waiting for him to hold her, but he doesn't hold her and lets her go normally. He sees Asena in front of him him, so he goes and sits next to her. He tells her he's happy she came to the festival. It seems he's genuinely starting to be attracted to her. It appears she's also attracted to him. Mata starts telling her about his old life. He tells her he's from the future and had a beautiful life until one day he lost consciousness and found himself here. Since that day, he's hated himself and wanted to escape the village by any means, until he saw her, and she became the reason he's willing to stay here for her. He tells her about the invention of the telephone and how people in the future will be able to communicate through the phone. She pretends to be impressed by what he's telling her. She asks him what he would do if she lived with him in the future. He tells her he would call her and ask for her hand in marriage. He continues to tell her about future inventions like airplanes and submarines. All this time, she pretends to be impressed. She tells him she believes him and doesn't see him as crazy as he used to say about himself. At that moment, Mata feels he truly loves her because she trusts him and believes him, even though she only saw him a few hours ago. He gets close to her to kiss her, but Albir comes and tells him that Dilbar is in the sea trying to end her life. Mata quickly goes to her to save her because she told him she would commit suicide, but he didn't believe her. He manages to save her at the last moment. He takes her to her car, which is a wooden cart pulled by 2 horses. Inside the car, Dilbar thanks him for saving her. She gets close to him and tells him she's attracted to him and he's the love of her life. Mata apologizes to her and tells her he loves someone else. He covers her because the weather is cold and leaves her in the car and walks away. He goes to Asena's house. She opens the door and tells him she can't meet him now because her father is sick and she has to take care of him. The truth is that Selim is inside the house, drunk. If Mata saw him, he would know they are acting, and none of this is real. Mata walks through the village, depressed and sad. He looks up at the sky and talks to the spirit of his deceased mother. For the first time, Teoman hears him expressing himself. Mata says his life was destroyed after his mother's death, and Teoman stood by him and tried to compensate him for the role of his absent mother in his life. Teoman breaks down and goes to the village gate. The only thing separating him from Mata is the village wall. Mata continues his speech, saying he relied on his father and truly loved him. He wants to be like him one day, but he saw himself as a failure, and his father always argued with him to be a good person, but he never told him what to do to be a good person. The only thing that makes him forget his problems is parties and staying out late with his friends. Teoman breaks down crying and decides to tell Mata everything. He goes to open the village gate. The sniper injects him with a sedative and he loses consciousness. Because if he opened the gate, he would shock Mata and destroy everything they had done. And Mata's condition would return to being worse than before. When Teoman wakes up, he finds himself in the monitoring room. He goes to argue with Dr. Sammy because he didn't let him talk to his son. But Dr. Sammy tells him that his son is already changing, and he shouldn't ruin the matter at such an important time. Sammy leaves him and goes to meet Asina. He tells her that she is now the heroine of his story after Mata became attached to her. He assures her that even though his plan was going well and Mata was supposed to fall in love with Dilbar, Asina changed everything with one word. When she told Mata she trusted him and believed him at the time he needed to hear that word the most. The next day, Kalis goes to the judge. He tells him that his son Selim was out late at a bar last night, and because he drank a lot, he accidentally hit a police officer. He must turn himself into the police to be punished for his crime, but because he's the judge's son, he can't go to jail. The judge decides that Mata will go to jail instead of Selim. The judge takes Mata with him to the house. There he offers him food, drink, sweets, and fruit. He promises him he won't go to jail at all, and the punishment will only be 20 lashes. And because no one knows Mata or Selim, they'll believe normally that Mata is the judge's son. The judge promises him that if he fulfills the agreement, he will give him his freedom, money, gold, and marry him to the girl he loves. Mata feels hopeful that he will finally marry Asena. He agrees to the judge's offer. After that, we see Mata being whipped 20 times in front of all the villagers. Teoman sees him, but he can't stand the sight and leaves the monitoring room and walks away. After Mata is whipped, he goes to the judge's house, very tired from the whipping. He asks Selim about his father to get the things they agreed upon. Selim mocks him because he's naive and thinks he'll actually give him anything. Selim throws him to the ground and steps on Mata's chest with his foot. He warns him that if he sees him again anywhere, he'll kill him. Mata gets up from the ground, angry, wanting to hit Selim. From behind the screen, Teoman stands, encouraging him to hit Selim, to fight for something that's his right for once in his life. But he's shocked when he sees that Mata left Selim and walked away normally. Selim goes to Dilbar, and they spend a lovely time together. Dilbar tells him that she was upset at first because Asena stole Mata from her and she was attracted to him, but now she's not upset after finding someone new to love her. They spend the whole day together. Asena goes to spend time on the beach with Mata. She teaches him how to ride horses. We learn that Mata has a phobia of horses, but now he's happy and not scared. Mata stays with Asena on the beach for a few hours. In the end, Mata tells her he can't believe himself, that the spoiled Mata, who was in a different bar every day, is now happy and content living in a poor village in the 16th century. At night, he takes her to the stable. He has prepared a romantic place for them to sit together. He tells her he stayed up all night to prepare this place. She's very happy and thanks him for caring about her. They keep talking until it gets late. They go out to watch the stars. Then Mata tells her about what happened between him and Selim. He tells her he wanted to hit him because of his arrogance. But what stopped him was that Selim reminded him of himself before he went back in time. Because he used to act like Selim and thought the whole world was his just because he was rich and had money. But now he's sure he's a completely different person. Asena is touched and replies to him that after he discovers everything, he must be sure that every word she told him came from her heart. He doesn't understand what she's saying and gets close to her to kiss her. But Albir comes and tells him that the pirates have arrived at the village. They want to take all its riches. After that, the pirate leader will choose the most beautiful girl in the village and marry her. They run quickly with him until they reach the pirate's location. There, one of the guards grabs a very beautiful girl. He tells the leader that he will marry this girl. If her family wants to stop him, one of her family members must sacrifice themselves for her. Her father decides to sacrifice himself and offers himself to the leader. The leader orders his guards to cut his neck. Indeed, the father dies to save his daughter from the pirate leader. The guard then looks for another beautiful girl until his eyes fall on Asena. He asks her to go to the leader because she is the girl he will marry. Mata has one chance to save her, to fight for her, but Mata refuses and leaves the place and walks away. He goes to the stable, feeling desperate because he lost his beloved and couldn't even defend her. Teoman has seen everything from the surveillance cameras. He asks the sniper to inject Mata with a sedative to get him out of the village, because he has lost hope in him and is sure that he will never change. But Sami refuses again, and he appears to truly trust Mata. In the stable, Mata sees Selim, the judge's son, who is drunk. Selim keeps telling him that all of this is acting, and even Asena's love for him is acting. They are doing this to change him because his father sees him as a spoiled child who will never change. He didn't even think to save his beloved from the pirates. Mata gets angry and hits Selim, knocking him to the ground. He takes a horse and quickly returns to Asena's location. He takes Asena from among them and puts her on the horse with him. Dr. Sami orders the pirates to attack Mata to give him a chance to defend his beloved. But the pirates refuse, seeing this as a happy ending to their story. Mata goes with his beloved Asena to ride a boat in the sea. Finally, the lovers reunite to live a happy life. They spend a beautiful time on the boat until they fall asleep. Mata wakes up the next day and discovers that the boat is in a river in Istanbul normally. And everything he saw was acting, as Selim told him. He is shocked and asks Asena if her love for him was acting. Before she can reply and justify her position, the sniper appears behind him. She injects him with a sedative, and he loses consciousness. When he wakes up, he finds himself at home. Teoman tells him he had an accident on the boat with his friends 3 months ago and went into a coma and just woke up today. Mata remembers his life in the village and can't believe that everything he saw was a dream in a coma. It appears that Mata has truly changed, to the extent that he throws the car key in the river and doesn't want to show off with money and cars anymore. He goes to the officer he argued with at the checkpoint. He apologizes to him for driving the car with him, holding onto the hood, and asks him to forgive him. He forgives him because he has already apologized. Mata goes to sit in the bar alone, very sad. There he sees Selim and Dilbar dancing together. He goes to talk to them and asks them if they know Asena's whereabouts. They argue with him and say they don't even know who he is. Mata gets upset because he can't tell them he traveled to the past and met them there because they'll definitely call him crazy. He leaves the bar and walks away. He keeps looking for Asena everywhere until he reaches the stable where she works. As soon as he sees her, he's very happy and wishes she remembers him. She tells him the truth. Everything he saw was a plan from his father and Dr. Sami to change his personality and make him take responsibility. He doesn't care that his father lied to him twice, but he's happy that he finally found the love of his life. After a while, Teoman marries his girlfriend Ayla, and Mata gets engaged to his girlfriend Asena. At the wedding, Mata thanks his father for being the reason for his personality change and for him meeting the love of his life. Teoman replies and thanks him for making him feel his worth as a father and an influential figure in his son's life. At this time, Dr. Sami is with Selim and Dilbar in front of a large screen, watching Teoman's wedding. Selim asks if the story ends here since Mata has changed and become a responsible person. To watch more movie explanation videos like this, please like my videos and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.